Importance of early rising. Early rising is a habit so easily acquired, so necessary for business, so important for devotion, and so advantageous to health, that except in cases of necessity, it ought not to be dispensed with by any prudent or diligent person. The lying late in bed is one of the ills of the aged and the sick. Importance of early rising. Early rising is a habit so easily acquired, so necessary for business, so important to devotion, and so advantageous to health, that except in cases of necessity, it ought not to be dispensed with by any prudent or diligent person. The lying late in bed is one of the ills of the aged and sick, but ought not to be an enjoyment to persons in perfect health. If any therefore have been so unfortunate as to have acquired this idle habit, let them get rid of it as soon as they can. Nothing is easier. A habit is only a repetition of single acts, and may be broken as it was formed, by degrees. It is a succession of short steps which conveys us from the foot to the top of a mountain. Let a person accustomed to sleep till 8 in the morning rise the first week in April a quarter before 8, the second week at half past 7, the third at a quarter after 7, and the fourth at 7. Let him go on in this way to the end of July, and he will accomplish a work which might at first appear difficult, and render a month equal to 5 weeks of his former indolent life, and render a month of and render a month equal to 5 weeks of his former indolent life. Lying late in bed is an intemperance of the most pernicious kind. It impairs the health, is the cause of many diseases, and in the end destroys the lives of multitudes. It makes the blood forget its way, and creep lazily around the veins. It relaxes the fibers, unstrings the nerves, evaporates the animal spirits, saddens the soul, dulls the fancy, and subdues and stupefies man to such a degree that he dislikes labor, yawns for want of thought, trembles at the sight of a spider, or at the fancies of his own imagination. He who rises early is met by the domestic animals with peculiar pleasure. One whines and purrs about him, another frisks and capers, and does everything but speak. The stern mastiff, the plodding ox, the noble horse, the harmless sheep, the cackling poultry, the dronish ass, each in its own way expresses joy when he first appears. Then how incomparably fine is the dawning of the day, when the soft light comes stealing on, at first glimmers with the stars, but gradually outshines them all. How beautiful are the folding and parting of the grey clouds, drawn back like a curtain, to give us a sight of the most magnificent of all appearances, the rising of the sun. How rich is the dew, decking every spire of grass with coloured spangles of endless variety, and of inexpressible beauty. Birds mount and fill the air with a cheap and perfect music, and every tree, every steeple, and every hovel emits a cooing or twittering, a warbling or chirping, a hailing of the return of day. The solemn stillness of the morning is fit and friendly to the cool and undisturbed recollection of a man just risen from his bed, fully refreshed and in perfect health. Let him compare his condition with that of half of the world, and let him feel an indisposition to admire and adore his protector if he can. How many great events have come to pass in the 6 hours while I have been asleep! The heavenly bodies have moved on. The great wheels of nature have none of them stood still. Vegetation is advanced, the season is come forward, fleets have continued sailing, councils have been held, and on the opposite side of the world, in broad noonday, business and pleasure, amusements, battles, and revolutions have taken place without my concurrence, consent, or knowledge.